Good evening, all, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. I'm your host, Jarvis, and with me tonight on this Jarvis's Corner, we have Mark and Stu Woolley. Tonight, guys, there's only one topic we will talk about: Rúben Amorim and INEOS. The topic of the show tonight is about did INEOS really sack Rúben Amorim because he dared to criticize the Manchester United ownership in public? We saw this with Ralph Ragnick, and it didn't last long. And tonight, we asked the question the mainstream media don't touch. Because this doesn't look like a footballing strategy. It looks like ego. It looks like control. It looks like image protection. Amorim was brought in because of his 3-4-2-1 philosophy. Yet the club never fully backed him. They failed to deliver key signings. We never got a midfielder. We never got a wing back we needed. And Rúben Amorim was left out to dry. The squad wasn't built for his system. And when he spoke out about his broken promises, suddenly he's gone. So this is something we need to talk about. This is a footballing club, or we can call us a PR machine that sack anyone who tells the truth. And if the owners can't handle criticism, if they silence accountability instead of facing it, how can we ever rebuild into elite club again? How can we ever improve ourselves if we cannot dare to face and see ourselves in the mirror? So tonight on Tactical Devils, we go deep. And guys, girls, smash the like, subscribe if this is your first time, and we will be back after the intro. So see you in a second. Boom, boom, boom. And the Tactical Devils are live on the night of the Amorim sacking. We all saw it this morning. It came as a shock. I think it was 10 a.m. Wasn't when the news broke around that. I didn't follow the news. I was working. So suddenly I had a WhatsApp from Stu. He's gone. I was just, what? I'm shocked. But we talked about it yesterday on yesterday's show. We had a long debate, but I have to be honest. We aired the possibility of Amorim getting the sack, but I didn't believe it. I didn't believe that he was going to get the sack this quickly. Stu said it would take minimum. No, it would take 24 hours. Within 24 hours, we know he's either here or he's gone. So Stu, you were dead on. You were right. And what's your reaction of the Amorim sacking? How do you feel today?
Well, first of all, good evening, Devilish Tacticos. Another somber night for us, whether you were Amorim in or Amorim out. We find ourselves back at square one again. Are we going to find ourselves back at square one again in 2 years' time? Probably. I feel a little bit sad. And I think a lot of people who wanted Amorim out, I've read Jamie's messages already. Jamie Wayne is very vocal on his point on Amorim, but he didn't want it done in this manner. And I think we all share that side. The interesting thing for me was I spoke about the human element of what Amorim as a man will be going through. And he looked quite happy today. And I think the reason he looked happy in the pictures was I think he's fed up with this shit show of a club. I think he's just, I don't think he even cares about the money, to be honest, that he's likely to receive. I don't think he cares about that. I just think he thought, I've had enough. I'm just going to go and have 6 to 8 months, 12 months off. Because I'm just not the man that I was when I walked through the door or when I left Sporting Lisbon. I'm absolutely embarrassed once again as a fan. I'm embarrassed to be associated with the club as a fan for as long as I've been associated. We've all been associated with the club in for different time periods, and we have seen too many good people, footballing people, not being able to get anywhere because the hierarchy of the club don't understand Manchester United's history. And I'm not talking about Sir Alex Ferguson. I'm talking way back when the club was formed. But it was called Newton Heath. The trajectory of the club. Every club's got a history, but Manchester United's got a special history. And we are special fans. The people that go to Old Trafford and follow the team week in, week out are special fans. They're special people. And I'm torn between once again saying the players have got away with it again because unfortunately it's the bulk of the same fucking players over the last 2 or 3 years that are getting these managers sacked. So, interestingly enough, I've not seen any player tweets or any player messages. I haven't seen it. So
Harry Maguire is the only player up until 7 o'clock. I haven't checked again, that put a tweet out.
No. They all came out after Harry Maguire. So
Harry
Maguire's thank the gaffer. Yeah.
So I mean, there'd be an NDA anyway in place. So nobody will be able to talk about it. Amorim won't be able to talk about it. Nobody will be able to talk about it. What we need now is none of this bullshit anymore from the club. Barada should have been out at lunchtime. There should have been a tweet go out to the fans at 11 o'clock saying at 12 o'clock MUTV will be free for everybody. There is going to be an address from the CEO about what we are planning to do, because I just don't know where we're going now. I really don't know what we're doing, where we're going. Are we turning left? Are we turning right? I just don't really understand anything now, because me and Jarvis spoke about it last night. The league table doesn't lie. Whether we like Amorim's brand of football or not, the league table doesn't lie. And we are within touching distance. If we beat Burnley on Wednesday, which we probably will now, we'll probably go out and beat Burnley quite comfortably. Are we going to ruin our chances at top four? Because whoever comes in as interim, they'll either be told you've got to work with this bunch of players till the summer, and they're going to have to start working on the new manager's players already. And if we go for Glass and he plays a 3-4-3, where are we? I don't know where we are anymore. I've got no idea. I don't know what I'm looking at anymore. I just don't know what to say. I've seen various managers linked today. Let's get Nagelsmann in. Why? What's Nagelsmann going to do? This is for me the problem now. What is another manager going to do? More importantly, would you touch Manchester United at this point in time as Catherine No Nonsense McDade said right at the very beginning with a fucking barge pole? Because I don't think I would. If you're a serious young coach, you can't come anywhere near us. You can't. If you're Kenner, no chance. I'd rather take my chances at Ipswich. You can't do it. So
it's impossible to work under a structure like this, and we know now by several managers that INEOS are not keeping their promises. They are liars, right out liars. They come with promises. But do you really think Amorim, after the last game of the season, stood on Old Trafford speaking for a crowd of 60, 70,000 people, saying the good times are coming, and he meant it? Do you think he said it just to calm people down, or do you think they made him some promises they were going to back him fully? But he has been backed fully. They gave him 3-4 players, but we know he needed at least 7-8 players. We needed to be serious, at least in the first window, and then we could go easy and only invest maybe 150 to 200 million a season for the next 2 or 3 years for this to work. But we didn't. And I think this is where the problem lies. I think they come with false promises, and I don't think they understand how the transfer window works. Really, I don't think they understand how the dynamism in football really works. We saw it with for example, Sene Lammens. It was a no-brainer. Why didn't we go and get him right away? But we waited, so we had to play with Bayinder and Onana for the first 5 to 10 games. We lost points against Arsenal in the opening game of the season because of Bayinder. and it could have been so much different. It's so important. I talked about getting the momentum of the season, starting to winning games. Be ahead of the curve, not chasing all the time. Being under scrutiny. But they set up this manager to fail. I'm not here to defend Amorim in any way, shape, or form. I'm here to point my finger on INEOS, because I think as a leadership of this club, they need to be better.
Yeah.
They are acting like amateurs.
The thing is, though, pal, the next 3 or 4 games are going to see the players suddenly evolve into this unbeatable team. We all know this. Burnley will be like thinking, fuck, great, brilliant, we're fucked. Forget that then. So
that's not going to happen, because we've got Brighton, then we've got Man City and Arsenal.
I think it will happen. I think you're going to see
and
this
8 of them are potentially still not going to be back. 8 out first team players are not going to be back. We're still going to have no one on the bench.
Well, we don't know that yet, do we? At this point in time, we don't know that. Apparently, Bruno could make a miraculous reappearance on Wednesday if you hear. And same with Mason Mount. It's same with Kobe Mainoo, etc. They're all on the grass apparently training.
But Mainoo, I will accept. If Mainoo was feigning injury because he'd had a fallout with the manager, I would accept, because he wouldn't be the first and he's not going to be the last where that's happened. But the other ones are his go-to guys. And if they're coming back too soon, they're ridiculously stupid, because Bruno's only got to go into a tackle, stretch for a ball, and a grade 3 becomes a grade 1, and you're done. You're done for the season. You're done for the World Cup.
Yeah, this is what we're hearing. This is what people are saying, etc. But ultimately, my point is, we're going to see a different group of players because they've got what they want as well. So it's everything is encompassing with this particular sacking. And now all of a sudden, we want managers who've got no Premier League experience. We want to bring in Zidane. We want to bring in X. We want to bring in Y. For what? You bring in Nagelsmann, he's got to change the fucking system again. He's got to bring in the players that Nagelsmann wants. If you don't start delivering on that today, tomorrow, with the World Cup coming in, you're not going to get what you want in the summer. You've got to have the manager lined up immediately. We don't appear to have that. We're in a fucking shambles yet again. This club, this ownership, this lack of intelligence from fucking billionaires, for fuck's sake. Billionaires, people, by the way, who know how to make a quid. They know
how to employ people to make the right decision as well.
Yeah, they know how to make, turn a pound into 10 quid. They know what they fucking do when it comes to making money.
Yeah.
But they can't do it in football because they don't know it. They don't understand it. You look in America, if Sean's in the chat, he'll probably tell us. If you look in American football, they've got owners who don't know fuck all about it, but they leave the sporting team to deliver and do what they need to do. They don't get involved unless they need to, and this is why we don't hear from the Glazers, by the way. Let's be clear about this. We don't hear from them because they're adopting the American way of running a sports team. And, well, we pay you to do that. What are you bothering me with it for? We pay you to deal with it. We don't hear from. We've got to hear from somebody publicly, in my opinion. I think Barada's got to get off his ivory tower and come down and speak to the fans. Because right now, I think we're just in a vat of treacle and we're just going to sink. And that is it.
I agree. There are a lot of reports coming out now. There are reports right, left, and center from everywhere. Yeah, and people are saying Oli is suddenly one of the caretaker alternatives. We have people saying that Rúben Amorim's decision to sack him was made before the Leeds game because of internal fights. There are reports coming out now that Sir Jim Ratcliffe was furious with Rúben Amorim's criticism of the club's hierarchy, because why would he ever criticize them? Because they are the best in class. But there are so many reports coming out now, but I don't know where to even start. But Yeah, this is the one. Rashmana comes out and says Sir Jim Ratcliffe was furious with Rúben Amorim's criticism of the club's hierarchy after the Leeds game and personally made the decision to sack the Portuguese boss. This comes from Sam Luckhurst.
If I had any name apart from Samuel Luckhurst next to it, I would likely believe it. But Samuel Luckhurst, you know, he'd lied to his own mother. So
yeah, okay. Let me just tell you where we are. So you're all aware of what's going on with the journalism side of it. It's a pissing contest is what's happening right now between all the journalists. I've got the scoop. I've got the scoop. I've got the scoop. Let me see. Sir Jim Ratcliffe was furious with Rúben Amorim because he criticised the club. Wow, big fucking deal. Wow, great reporting. That's fucking, hold the fucking back page.
Where's the comment? Where's the statement from Ratcliffe? Is an exclusive. Where's that?
There's nothing. You don't get it. And this is the thing. I this morning at 8 o'clock, I've heard that Amorim's in big trouble. I mean, this is where you are with journalism. You cannot substantiate anything. I could write that. Jarvis could have written it. Mark, you could have written it. You put it on. If you've got a blue tick by you on X, you put it on. He's in there. No, he is. He's in bullshit. Nobody fucking knows. The only one that's got any credit right now is Ormstein. That's it. The end. He was out before anybody. He was out before Sky. He was out before Ramon. He was out before anybody.
And he's actually the only one, or others might have followed now, but he was the first one to confirm Fletcher is in charge till the summer. 1.5 hours after it was confirmed that the manager had gone, he's confirmed that Fletcher has been told he will look after the team until the summer. We are not looking for an immediate replacement. If we get one, if we come across one, we're happy to walk and we can do it, but we don't have the money to get him out of his contract.
Guys, let's address this. Talk about the caretaker and you know the poor planning of how we run our club. Well, are we throwing another season under the bus? Are we throwing this season away from now? And do we really think a caretaker can come in and steer this Man United ship into a Champions League qualification and doing well? Because I think it's a tight race at the moment, and you know, I don't trust this group of players. They showed me before when a weak manager comes in with no authority, with nothing to, he won't stay. They will all know he will leave. You know, if things starts to go badly, they will abandon ship. We saw it on the Rangnick.
Yeah, but we've seen this before. We are Ollie at the wheel 2.0. We have a fan favourite take over. He's been given 6 months technically to run the club. If he gets us Champions League football or European football, he's got a very good chance of being offered a contract because it won't cost the club anything. It's going to cost them 27 million to get rid of all the coaches and Amorim. So now I was just talking about this, obviously. So Titanium and Irish, you're going to have to sit back and hear it again. We're spending the money. Now we have an excuse not to be able to spend money in the January transfer window because now we've got to pay our manager off. And if we were to bring a manager in, that's even more money out of that transfer window. So we will only get 2 loan deals and it'll be another bloody Veghorst or someone like that coming in with Conor Gallagher if we're lucky, right? If Ornstein has confirmed that he's there now for the long haul. So we did that with Ollie. The season these other teams are having around us is just, well, we're doing better than them because we were 15th last year and we were in 6th. Chelsea fell away from a title challenge. Liverpool won the league and there's only 3 points between us. But there's also 3 points down to 12th. 12th, is it 11th, 12th? Chat, you'll have to let me know.
Like that. So yeah, I think it's 6 points between 14th and 3rd.
So when we play Burnley, we beat Burnley, but then we play Man City and Arsenal. We lose both those, and their teams below us win. We drop from 6th down to say 10th, 11th anyway, potentially. So changing the manager really wasn't going to matter because were we expecting to beat either of those 2 teams?
Yeah, but you know, this is the point of the show, Mark. It's not about the results. This is not where Man United are coming from. This decision is not made on results. It's made on egos. We have a sporting director in Wilcox and Berrada, and we have a billionaire guy, an old guy who's sitting on top, knows nothing about football according to reports, and want to have a say because he's the owner. He's put a lot of money into this, so he has a voice. We also have passive American owners who depend on everything. And the thing is, my point is, this has nothing to do with results. It has nothing to do with the Premier League. It has everything to do about egos and their image being
tarnished.
Tarnished. Yeah. So for me, I think this is where the problem lies, because my point is, how can we ever evolve if we don't dare to face the truth? If we don't dare to look ourselves in the mirror, the leadership can't look themselves in the mirror and look what I'm doing wrong. If you can't acknowledge what you're doing wrong, how can you ever improve? If you every time everything goes against you, you just hide under a rock, you just kick everybody around you, sack everyone, and close your mouth and act like nothing.
So the rumor is there was a conversation before the game, and it did not go well, right? There was, because obviously Amorim fired shots in the pressure before. He fired shots. Man United didn't even publish that part in the transcripts of the press conference. But when you go to Beanie Man Sports or someone like that who was at the press conference, they put the video footage up. That's how everyone knew that certain words had been said, where he called out, I can't remember, what was it before the game that he called out? He called out something in that saying about the players or something. I can't remember. It was something to do with transfers. So there was that. So then they had a conversation. That didn't go well. And then, I'm sorry, but that was preloaded, that press conference, right? He called them out. Did we need Amorim to call out INEOS as fans? We didn't, because they've already fucked up 3 or 4 times by keeping Ten Hag, by sacking Ashworth, by paying 15, 10, 5, whatever million it was to get Ashworth from Newcastle out of our transfer budget.
Yep.
Decreasing us getting players in. They've done multiple things. So what they've ended up doing is pissing off a manager who didn't need the money, who was happy to walk away. And he was like, well, I won't walk away. Do you know what I'll do? I'll make them sack me, and I will tell the fans the truth. So now INEOS have got to do damage control. And they have 2 options. They either go out and spend money in the January transfer window, because half of the United fans are that fickle, they go, oh my God, we signed Anderson for 100 million. You know? Because they've done that, you know, that's the Glazers for you, isn't it? How many times have the Glazers done that to shut us up? Protest. Every time there's a protest, throw money at it, and half our fan base shuts up.
Just link us to Mbappe or something. Link us to Messi.
That's all you've got to do. Okay?
Find Ronaldo.
But now they need to save face. Well, they can't save face, because they've made another really stupid decision. They put Fletcher in charge. Now, I'm all for Fletcher being in charge. What was Fletcher's role before he was the under-18s manager?
He was technical.
Remember?
He was technical
director.
Technical director.
Let me just chime
replaced by a director of football.
Yeah, let me just chime in for 1 sec.
Yeah.
I think you've got to give Amorim credit here above all else. I think he's looked at what's happened at Chelsea. I think he's looked at what Ranić has done in the past. I think he's looked at the way that Ten Hag conducted himself, Mourinho conducted himself, the way that Van Gaal conducted himself. And he thought, you know what? I'm here under false pretenses. And I now need to say that I'm here under false pretenses. The journalists were not going to give it a rest. They weren't going to let up. It's gold for them. It's printing money. Every time Amorim walked into a press conference, it's printing money. He had to do it. He had no choice. Jarvis is right. They're absolutely fucked off and embarrassed because the truth has come out by a manager. Now, he's under an NDA right now, so you're not going to hear or see anything from Amorim that's going to be anything detrimental, because his money or his severance package would be tied to his NDA, etc., etc., etc. So the laws will be sorting that all out now. So
will the severance be tied to his coach's NDA if he was to say something as well? Will they be separate?
Everything. It's one big group,
one big package.
One big package.
So he can't say anything because although he doesn't need the money, they do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. So everything's on an NDA. So ultimately, what he's done is he said, "Enough's enough. I don't care what happens to me now." The line is crossed. I said, didn't I say? Was it the other night? I said, or when he come out with it, I think I said, I can't remember when I said it, but I said a couple of days ago, he was on that tipping point. He'd gone, he'd disappeared. And once you get over that tipping point within your mind, once your mind's made, that's it, you're fucked. And he made his point. And the reason why I said they had 24 hours to deal with it, because logic tells you that basically. I'm no Mystic Meg. Logic tells you they had to deal with it this morning. It just does. So I am hugely a big supporter of what he's done, actually. I think real men stand up for themselves and take no shit off anybody. Real men do. Whatever the consequences, and you'll take it. So if you walk into a ring, people talk about Jay. I think Jake Paul's an absolute prick. But he took a punch off Anthony Joshua that's none of us would, walk into a ring for money, because he would kill us. These are the type. These are men out there, and he's been a man. What we do now, and I think Jarvis is right, actually, Mark, and I'm really pissed off about it, but I think he's right. I'm not pissed off that you're right, pal. No. I'm pissed off, and I think you are as well, Mark. I'm pissed off because we have a chance. I think we can beat City, actually, strangely, because I thought they were shite against Chelsea. I really did. Rodri's terrible. Really feel for Rodri. But I don't think City are great. You get hold of Cherky and Reinders, and I don't know what's going on with Haaland at the moment, but he got it fucking Ballon d'Or, can he? He's killing me in my fantasy Premier League. And I haven't changed him. He's killing me.
Yeah, because as soon as you uncaptain him, it fucking
well, somehow, Jarvis, I did get 59 points the other day.
Didn't.
I had to have a look around and think, how have I got that? Anyway, that's another point. But the thing is,
Declan Rice.
I agree with you on Arsenal, Mark. I can't see us getting anywhere at Arsenal. I think Arsenal are going to beat Liverpool Thursday. I think we're going to beat Burnley. And I think we're going to start, flirting around the top four.
But Chelsea could be doing the same because they're in the same boat. That's the point I'm trying to make. We're reliant on everyone else's results as much as our own.
Chelsea is just going to go for Rafinha. So good luck to Rafinha. Everyone says it's a done deal. Good luck to him. He's doing okay in League One, and he was Strasbourg. He's a young manager. I know he didn't do particularly well with Hull, but good luck to the guy. They seem to be set on Rafinha. So that's what they seem to be doing. So Chelsea are going to take a backward step. They really are. They might do well, for the first couple of games, but game 4.
That's worse than Frank Lampard. It's that
it
simple.
Is. It's not. Yeah, I feel sorry for Rafinha. These managers. I sometimes look at these managers, and this is why I think we've got to be very, very careful on what we wish for now moving forward. As I look at Rafinha, I'm thinking, the fuck are you doing? Well, if you're around him, say, look, mate, I get Chelsea. Just build your career. Look at Alonso. There was 2 weeks ago, the fans were up in arms with Alonso at Real Madrid. They wanted rid of him. Look what he did at Leverkusen. These managers, they see Manchester United, they see Chelsea, they see Real Madrid, and they think, wow, I'm just going to go in for it. You can't just walk into a club like that at Rafinha's stature, at Fletcher's stature, by the way, Mark. Let's be clear about that. Darren Fletcher understands Manchester United. We've got to go out and find a caretaker manager. I'm not saying Martin O'Neill, because he's likely to go back up to Celtic, because Celtic were fucked this morning. their sacking didn't make a line, did it?
No, he didn't. No.
Martin O'Neill is back.
I got home. I was like, when did that happen?
That Nancy guy was thinking, thank fuck for that. I've been sacked after 36
I've got to go back to the Fletcher thing.
Yes.
Because the point I was trying to make is he was technical director. We brought in the whole new board structure and we downgraded him to under-18s manager. Happy to stay at the club. Now, the person that technically replaced him, because a technical director and a director of football is literally a difference in title, not really job. Okay? Because he's still going to employ a team around him of scouts and everything to to look at everything that's going on. Fletcher is now going to be the first team manager. So, okay, why do we not give it to Wilcox, director of football? I can tell you many a team that have employed, sacked the manager, and the interim manager has been the director of football because they fall out with them at most clubs and they take over the director of football because basically they're a shit manager that likes to be able to tell other people what to do and have no responsibility. That's the role of a director of football. But now, because it's funny you say that, Stu, that's exactly what I thought. Fletcher's got no history. He's no different to Michael Carrick. He's no different to Ryan Giggs. All these other ex-players who have stepped in, but get a big buzz from coming in. The players played well for a couple of games, and that's why I said about the Ollie. But Fletcher's got to replace an entire coaching staff because the one thing we did here is we replaced the entire coaching staff, and they've all gone.
Yeah.
So Fletcher needs a number 2. He needs to bring some experienced coaches in for the first team. You can't just take them away from a setup. So we've still got to employ more. That's more money going to come out of the transfer budget because it's the same budget. I would love, I said this on mine, can you imagine, it's not going to happen, so don't get your hopes up. He goes, Wayne, will you come be my number 2? And Roy, Martin, can you come in as well? That's your team to look after. Martin O'Neill, Roy Keane, Wayne Rooney, and Fletcher.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, Martin O'Neill got the job back at Celtic tonight.
Oh, of course, he did.
There are no chance. I even saved it because I think it's worth mentioning that Martin O'Neill has the manager job until the end of the season. So again, another opportunity missed. He would be the perfect interim, to be honest. Comes in with a little bit experience, how the Premier League rolls. Because I don't think like a guy like Fletcher has the aura to come in and lead Man United. He's a steady Eddie. I think he can do a good job, but it could go either way. And I always have a saying that I will repeat: it can always get worse. And we sit here now pissing and moaning about sitting 5th, 6th, a couple of points behind the top 4, top 5. But we can sit here in May sitting 12th.
Yes.
No European football. Everything has gone down the drain because of this. It could happen.
Oh,
and
we're on a knife edge now.
If it would happen.
Absolutely. One way or the other from this decision this morning. I think it's the wrong decision. I think they both are in the wrong. United are wrong for not backing him in the correct way. You can say he's had signings and he had 3 strikers, a goalkeeper, but we didn't need 3 attacking players because we had Bruno. We needed a midfielder. And I can tell you from experience, playing that whole Belieber thing and going with Brighton, knowing how they would play the deal. Oh, we were in. We just couldn't get it across the line. Well, they didn't fail, did they? They didn't fail because Brighton said no, and then they wouldn't let him go. And you're after your number 1 target. It's another media thing, isn't it? It's a storm in the teacup kind of. Well, they tried, but they couldn't get it over the line. Well, where's your second and third choice? Why are you not going for 3 players at once, like any other club, and then you just pick the one you can get? You get done.
Mark, do you remember what happened at the end of the summer transfer window when we suddenly was linked to Baleba and Donnarumma at the same time?
Yeah.
You remember the joy in the fan base just because of that. It was leaked out.
That's what I mean. So you can try and say we back the manager. It didn't happen.
All the criticism of INEOS stopped. We are doing bits. This is the best transfer window ever. But we ended up with us signing no one.
Well, it's in the chat. They didn't even bid for Belieber. Well, I told you guys that, didn't I? Because I had my own information, but there's no bid ever gone in for him. There was conversations between intermediaries. That is not the club to club. No bid was ever placed for Belieber, and it still hasn't been. So all of the links you're getting now is trying to keep everyone off of INEOS's back and say they were backing the manager. There's only been 1 transfer still, and that is Johnson. And what a joke that is. I know off the subject, but giving him the number 11 shirt and Johnson, I was like, oh, you might have just made a mistake there for a certain cop.
West Ham have signed 2 players today, haven't they?
Have they signed? Oh, I wouldn't know, Stu. There's been no other news.
No, Yeah, West Ham have signed 2 players there. Apparently, I don't know who they are or what they're doing, but they are.
But the Semenyo deal's not been done.
No, I said this last night. I was quite surprised. I thought Semenyo deal, was ready to go. So I don't know what City are doing. Well, yeah, presumably he's going to be playing for Bournemouth on Wednesday. So,
yeah, exactly. So,
I don't know everything about that deal, but I believe the buyout clause was only valid for a portion of January. So maybe it's not into effect yet. So they need to wait. So they will get the right price. That's just my speculation. I don't know, but that's where I think the reason comes from.
Well, it could be the last. It could be the last week. Then that mad rush week where it becomes available.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was. You are right, Jarvis. There was a set date, but it was available like a 1 week window. Like a lot of people do that in the summer to try and get the money in before. To get some money in before the FFP ticks over into the following month. So,
but going back to the subject, I'm not letting INEOS off the hook. I think we should keep the pressure on INEOS and especially the footballing structure and when it comes to Wilcox, he had a job at the academy of Manchester City. He had a job at Southampton while they were in the championship for a short spell, and now he's leading the biggest club in the world, Man United. Omar Barada was the financial guy. He was head of the City Group. That's New York, Manchester City, or whatever. All around the world. And so Jim Ratcliffe is a Chelsea season ticket holder. So everybody's talking about these are the best in class. These guys are the best. They are coming in. They are serious, and all of this. And as I said the other day, I summed up what they have done with the club, and they have done good things. The new Carrington, I think that's a step forward. We are planning a new stadium. I think that's a step forward. Even though it's way ahead, and we don't have the money and we don't have anything, so it's just like a far-fetched.
I'm planning a new house. I can't afford it, Jarvis.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
If you tell it to your wife, or maybe she will be happy for a couple of weeks, but on year 7 and still no new house, I think you will be very unpopular. But that's just the way it is. But what I'm trying to say is, are they just PR people coming in and selling us lies as they are doing with the managers? Because it feels like it right now. I don't trust them. I don't know their intentions. I feel maybe they are good, maybe they are not. Maybe they're just hanging around waiting for the big payout.
I remember Stu saying for INEOS were here for a short time, not a long time, and they basically will try and double their money and get out, which he probably needs to do sooner rather than later. But unfortunately, they fucked up and then losing money. Because obviously with what's going on with INEOS and Ratcliffe's own personal wealth, both are going down the drain quicker than our season last year. So I don't know what to say. What can anyone do? What has INEOS done to show faith for us to trust them? That's my question back to your question. Name me one thing they've done where we can trust them.
Yeah, that's the thing. Every big decision they have made has turned out to be wrong. It was wrong about Ten Hag. They were wrong about Amorim hiring. I think they were wrong about sacking Ten Hag mid-season. I think we should stop sacking managers mid-season, and 10
million for Ashworth, and then
10 million sacking Ashworth. Ticket prices, all of it. Big up, Catherine. And by the way, we have a super chat coming in from Rafa. Big up, Rafa San, coming in with ZRAR. I don't know what the currency that is.
I'm not sure.
The ZAR. Indian?
No, that's
out that way.
Yeah. But thank you so much coming in. Big super chat coming in and say sad day for United. Wilcox and Barada must go. Amorim went out on his shield. They knew his system. They just as much to blame. Wish Amorim all the best. And this is where I'm feeling. I was one of Amorim's biggest critics. I have so much negative to say about his tactics, how his in-game management was poor, his team selection was poor. He didn't do well as a manager. But okay, so fire him because of footballing reasons then. But be clear and say that you tried to give him a fair chance, but we didn't. We didn't sign him the players needed. And we knew when he came in, we had a broken back when Ten Hag was sacked, and we didn't back him in the first January window. We gave him Dorgu, we gave him Aiden Heaven. We spent maybe 26 million pounds, I believe, 21. But and when it came to, we lost the Europa League final, no Europe next season, but we tried. We gave him 3 players, but in all of this, we sold Rashford. We sold Sancho, we sold Garnacho, we sold Højlund, we sold so many players. So many players went out. I think 8 to 9 players went out, and we brought in, I would say, 3 big names. So again, and we knew we had a poor squad, weak squad, thin squad, and we went into the season not the right profiles to play this system. Amorim, he tried, he kept it positive. He said in interviews in the summer, we need a midfielder. He repeated it a couple of times, but he never seemed to give him the players needed. And now we come into January, we still need a midfielder. And, he tried his best, but they won't back him. So what is Amorim to do? That's the thing. So
we don't know they weren't backing him because it's the 5th of January. We only know that at the end of January, but he wasn't backed.
He was left with no choice, was he, Amorim? Like I said before, he was very noble dying on your sword, trust me. And, fair credit to him. It's an interesting thing, though, because, INEOS have invested a lot of money in the infrastructure, whether we like it or not. They put their money where their mouth is in terms of rebuilding Carrington, investing 350 million quid. But, ultimately they're a business and they're going to want to get that back. They've got easy money lying around in Mercedes. They own a third of Mercedes. They've got about 1.6, 1.7 billion available to them if they were to get out that Mercedes ownership, sell their stake in Mercedes, probably even get more.
Yeah.
So there is money around for them. As for the INEOS being 18 billion in debt, it is what it is with oil and gas companies, that type of thing. He could hit on tomorrow. He could hit on a pocket of oil, a pocket of gas, through fracking or whatever, and just hit the jackpot. There's a reason that thing in Venezuela happened, and trust me, it wasn't to do with the dictatorship. It was to do with the type of oil that is produced in that region, because it's different to the oil that's produced in America. And so he needed to get. It's true. You can look it up. It's a different type of oil. And in fact, I believe that pocket down there is more valuable than in Saudi Arabia. So there's a reason and a madness behind everybody. So, if Ratcliffe wanted to get out, and double his worth, you could sell INEOS. INEOS is still probably worth 70 billion, whatever,
Well, that's it. He lost 10 billion last year, didn't he, on his personal wealth?
Yeah.
He went from 28 down to 17, 18 billion.
I don't
personal wealth.
Yeah. But again, you can get that, he can get that back up, no problem. And don't forget, his personal wealth is all asset driven. That's the reason he lost it. It's all asset driven. So, it's like I said last night, we don't want billionaires in football, because when you get billionaires, it becomes a billionaires playground. This is what happens. They don't give a fuck about anybody. So ultimately, yeah, you dance with the devil, absolutely does. So ultimately, if you could kick billionaires out of football at the equilibrium, look at me words, that equilibrium would come back, and it would be nice, it would be flat. Yeah. But while there's billionaires in, some clubs have got millionaires, some clubs have got billionaires. You're always going to see the disparity, and this is what will happen. And billionaires don't care; they don't give a fuck who they hurt, who they stamp on, trample on, whose lives they ruin. They don't care. They're interested in money, 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 and that's the real fucking problem here. Money. That's all they're interested in. So, going back to where we sit, going back to this circus again that is Manchester United, unless you change the Glazers and you remove Jim and you get some serious owners in, we're going to be having the same conversation in 3 years' time. Whoever you bring in, doesn't matter. Whoever you bring in, can't do it, Ian. Unfortunately, if you could do a hostile takeover, Tekiala Sheikh has been out and criticised INEOS and the Glazers again tonight. He's hugely powerful. If they felt they could do a hostile takeover, they would. But the shares that the Glazers own, the Class B shares, make that almost impossible. So,
Stu, it's really interesting what you just said about how billionaires are there for the money, because sacking Amorim has probably just cost them more than the money they're sacking him, because now you've got the bad press. This shitstorm that Amorim started and knew what he was doing, and like you say, dying on his sword. But they had to sack him. I get that, because he's called them out. You've got to show strength for your side. But this is going to have an instant, massive knock-on effect. Like you say, if we don't make Europe, that's even more money you're going to lose as a club. That's more money you're going to lose as your billionaire wealth. Yeah, so you're not going to bring in players. You're just going to continue to fall away. But we're currently in a position, and as Jarvis was alluding to, we're on a knife edge. We could quite easily be 12th at the end of this month, back down in our 15th, as much as we could be fighting in a Champions League spot. But we're talking about what can we do now to do that.
And for what? We are gambling because of egos. And this is the thing. This is not how you run a professional club. It's us and Chelsea.
No, football is all ego. It doesn't matter if it's the players, the owners, even the coaches have horrendous egos. It's like, I'm coaching at Man United. You're only coaching at Brighton. There'll still be that ego there, and they have got the same fucking qualifications at the end of the day. So it's just about how your face fits and who you know. But if we are to make money for a billionaire as a football club, you have to speculate to accumulate, right? So right now we have to go out back and get money in. Well, we can't do that.
You don't make money in a football club, Mark. You don't make money in a football club. But
you know what I mean. As in, we've lost money on the Adidas deal. We've got to get that back. We've got no sponsorship. We've got the top-tier deal we're refusing. Yeah.
The thing is, the problem is we got with Manchester United, Real Madrid, I don't know, Barcelona, say to an extent, it's brand value.
Yeah, we're too big to make money.
And that usurps anything. The loss of 75 million with Adidas or whatever, Jim Ratcliffe, the 10 million, 20 million, 15 million we're going to have to pay for this lot. It's a drop in the ocean. This is the problem. I can deal with that. Don't worry about that. 15 million quid here.
But it's not, because it affects you. And if this rule does not come in where it's profits based on profit, it affects that bottom line and what you have available to spend. Yeah, because you can't physically go, I'll give you that 500 million, because it can't go into the transfer fund.
Yeah, but 15 million is not really going to hurt us. On the big scheme of things, it's not going to hurt us.
But it's a 70 million pound player over 5 years.
Yeah, but it's not going to hurt us, because ultimately, whether we slice it or dice it, when somebody comes in, he's going to turn around and say, well, I don't want him, and I want him, and him. So you got to do it anyway, irrespective of whether it will cost us or hurt us or not. You've got to do it. And right now, if I was a club, I'd be looking at FFP and just sticking two fingers up at it anyway, because it's not a mockery.
Let's put it another way. Rashford comes back now. The manager's been sacked. Anyone thought about that?
No,
it could happen.
Barcelona still haven't said they're going to take him, so therefore he comes back. He's still a Manchester United player, and no one is in for him. We're in a transfer window, and no one's been linked with him. Again, the talk of him coming back because he's not good enough for Barcelona.
Well, he's playing every week,
but he's not doing anything.
He's scoring.
He's getting pulled off.
No, he scored about 6, 7, 8 goals or something.
Is that good enough for Marcus Rashford?
For Barcelona, it is, because
depends. It depends on his weight. If Barcelona has the money, it's very strict in the Spanish league.
They don't have the money, and I think that's why we got a good chance of getting a very good coach. Lack of money. But I'm just saying, like, things that we thought was going to go. Sancho has not gone. He's still a United player. He will be gone in the summer. We know that. Rashford is still a United player. Rasmus is still a United player. The money has not come in for those players yet.
No. Big up, Trevor. A lot of people in the chat, and let's talk a little bit about the news that came out. We have been linked by none other than Fabrizio Romano. It came out, say 30 minutes ago. We are linked to Ollie. So I saw someone write Jarvis at the wheel, but it we could end up with Ollie at the wheel again. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has shown interest in taking Manchester United job as caretaker manager, regardless of contract length. Man United taking the time to assess candidates for the job, and Darren Fletcher will be the interim manager this week. So Ollie is linked by Fabrizio Romano. He used to be a tier 1 journalist. Is this credible?
I can tell you where the link came from. Overlap. Yeah. When he went back on the overlap, was it the week before last? He was back on the overlap, and he said, like, if the job came up, yeah, I would go back to Manchester United. There's your tenuous link. That's where he's got that from, and he can quote it. There's no way Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done an interview in this, apart from saying, well, if they offered to me, yeah, I'd think about going back. Stu, would you think about taking the job? I'll think about taking the job. Again, it's just lazy journalism, which could just open to Ragnick would take the job.
I don't buy much into getting Ollie back, to be honest. Unfortunately, what I do see happening is Johnny Evans or join Fletcher. I would imagine you could probably get Carrick in to help you out if you needed.
I'm telling you, Rooney
for a couple of minutes.
Those two are very close. Rooney and Fletcher are very close.
Well, yeah. Rooney potentially.
Rooney.
I can see that.
Did he relegate Derby or?
No, he did well at Derby.
He did?
He did really well at Derby, and then Plymouth, he had no money and no players.
Plymouth had no money, no players, yeah. Still not a great manager, though, but anyway.
But as a coach, I'd take him as a coach.
But the thing is, though, we need somebody with mega experience in there now. Somebody who knows the league.
Ole must be the most experienced interim manager at Man United, and he knows the club in and out.
Michael Carrick.
I'm just saying. Not
because I'm more successful as a manager than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Fair play to Ole saying that he wants to come back in. I've got no problem with that. I don't have no problem with Ole being there. But again, I'm going to find myself in the next 2 or 3 weeks having a right pop at the players. So when we're having this
interesting game. Sean's comment above that, Roy Keane, saying that actually what was said.
Yeah, I think
that's what I saw in the overlap.
Yeah, I think Roy Keane's likely to get you into HR problems, and I think he knows that. So,
as I said on my show, at least then all the truth would be out in the open for the fans to know, because he wouldn't give a fuck.
No,
there'd be no NDA with him. Not exactly, but I'm telling everyone what I saw.
Yeah, so with him, I can't see that, but I can see a couple of ex-players coming back in and helping. But you need somebody who's got some Premier League experience that we can get. Choosing our next manager now is the most critical appointment we're going to have, because if this goes wrong again, you may as well forget it.
Let's do our top 3 then.
There isn't a top 3 for me.
I have a top 3, and 2 of them are available. 1 is available, 2 aren't. Yeah. But
I don't know.
I'll throw one out there. How about this? Bruno Fernandes takes over. Player manager.
Oh, God. No thanks.
But I would take Xavi. I think he's gettable. But it would cost us a fortune in players because of the kind of players.
So you want to start playing like Barcelona? These group of players. You want to have Dalot. You want to have.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. He would cost us a fortune in players, but I would take Xavi in a heartbeat as a fan.
It will relegate us. That will probably be the stupidest decision we will ever make. Signing a player like Xavi. It wouldn't work.
I would not.
We got to be sensible. I love the idea. I love the dream about Xavi, but we're not Barcelona. We don't have that type of players. It's not in our tradition, our DNA. if we have learned anything from the two last hirings of Ten Hag and Amorim, specialized tactical
that's
manager.
the part where I just said it would cost us a lot of money because we'd have to replace players. But some of those players are at the end of their contracts anyway, so you've got to remember that. The next two are both at the World Cup this year. And that is, shoot, you said no to him earlier. Nagelsmann, I would take. Because you're right. I'm talking about who I would take.
Yeah,
but he's a transition manager. He likes to play quick transitional football.
Yeah, that's the Manchester United way, Jarvis.
It is. But we sold Garnacho, we sold Rashford, we sold Sancho, we sold, and we are about to sell Bruno. You know, our transitional force.
Yeah, but there's other players out there.
Replacing them with ball carriers like Cunha, who's not a transitional player in that manner.
And the third one, Thomas Tuchel, because none of them are puppets. So that's why they wouldn't get the job.
I can handle. I think he's a good shout. He's a good shout. But for me, Mark, you know, I'm not trying to criticize you. You know, it's your opinion and you're allowed to have it. But it's just how I see Man United. And for me, there's only two guys I would take, and that is Premier League experience. Andoni Iraola, I like his mid-block, and when he tries, he goes high intensity in his press.
We don't have players who can play high-intensity football because we have lazy players.
I think we can do it, but not at the current state. But I think it will be easier. He can play a mid-block. He did at Burnley before he went over to that intense high press. But eventually he will come there. The other guy is Marco Silva, and the only reason is because I think he plays balanced football, and you know, there's nothing extraordinary, and he's very good at dealing with the squad and doing the best with the players he got. Fulham signed less players than us. They are the team that signed least players last summer, and you know, he's not given any players. He's just doing his job, and he's doing it quite brilliantly. I think Fulham now sitting 8th or something in the league, 8 points behind us. Marco Silva been around the block many years in the Premier League. He knows how it works. So the only thing is, I don't know how he will function in a big team like Man United. You don't have experience, but at least he have the Premier League experience, and he can do with what he got. He's a pragmatic manager. So in a way, I think he could be the stepping stone manager. And you know, in a couple of years, when everything hopefully turns to the better, we can go for players like signings like Xavi or someone at the highest shelf. But we are not there yet. We are not there yet.
I like Marco Silva. I think it's a really good shout. Xavi, I'm sorry, Mark. I'm with Jarvis on that one. I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole. I've not seen enough of Nagelsmann to suggest he would be great for us either. Tuchel, yes, I agree. I think that's a great shout.
Yeah.
Mine would be very simple. I'd be not knocking on heaven's door for Mr. Ancelotti and saying, "Come across, mate," and I'm going to bring in a Kieran McKenna type guy as your number 2.
Carrick.
Carrick, I'm going to give you an 18-month contract, and your job is twofold. Your job is to coach Manchester United, but you're to coach Kieran McKenna or Michael Carrick or whoever it may well be. And that's what I would do, because I think that's the only way we're going to get out of this shit that we're in. Now, I would say,
you're better off bringing in Ancelotti's son, because he's just done that at Real Madrid.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, again, yeah. I forgot about his son. He's been with him all over. I thought he was at Brazil, his son, actually, but I wasn't quite sure.
I think he's followed him there.
Yeah. So, and that's what I would do. I would use Ancelotti as the linchpin, and I would get somebody in to work alongside him. I would say Marco Silva would fit that bill perfectly, Jarvis, but he's not going to go from number 1 to sitting alongside Ancelotti for
yeah.
And I get that, and he's not.
But you know why I'm hoping for Marco Silva? Because I think he will bring a certain type of player with him.
He'll bring 2, Anderson and Berg.
Yes.
Because Anderson's been absolutely fucking amazing this season.
One Norwegian, one Danish guy, and I think that will do that.
Yeah, if you couldn't do that, and you couldn't get Ancelotti, and you couldn't bring a partnership of that nature together, then I think you're on thin ice, really, with who is out there that I think can come and turn Manchester United into where we are. So I think you've got to do another thing, Somebody beat me to it in the comments, and that is you've got to bring it in Edwin van der Sar, somebody who's been CEO of a club. Bring him in as technical director or sporting director, and try and get him to be the conduit between the first team and the board. Because we've got
that, That's a great idea. Can't do that because you know what that does? Proves right.
No, I know. So they won't do it, but it's what you should do. It's what a normal football club would do. But Jarvis, you both.
Well, it's what we should have done in the first place. I think we could have got him when we needed director of football the very first.
Probably could have. Yeah, probably could have, to be honest. So, so I'm really struggling outside of my Ancelotti idea as to where you would go per single unit man. And I've got no problem with Marco Silva, Jarvis. I think it's a great challenge.
I love your idea with the big man himself. You know, he can come in and can smoke his cigars. You know, have the aura. Yeah. You know, he can reinstate a type of winning culture, and I think he will demand respect from the players. No one will dare to talk back against him. You know, if he chooses not to play Manu stays on the bench, and that's it.
Nobody queries it. Nobody queries it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. So if you pull someone outside of that, Jarvis and Mark, that's where I'm really struggling. I like it.
You know who I think they're going for? I think he'll go for Maresca because of his fucking Chelsea season ticket.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't touch Maresca. I wouldn't touch.
We know that.
I like Iraola, by the way. Let me be clear. I like him, but Jarvis, we're seeing a problem at the moment. He's not getting the best out of his Bournemouth squad. They're very hit and miss.
But it doesn't matter. We know he lost Sabani. He lost that young Spanish guy. He lost all of his best players. He lost his goalkeeper. You know, now he's losing Semenyo. You can't keep it up. You know, this is the Premier League. It's down to quality.
Now the other thing.
Can I just point out how far have we fallen as a club? But we're looking at Fulham and fucking Bournemouth managers over top clubs in the world football.
Because the managers aren't out there anymore. That's the thing.
The club are still in the Champions League competing. Why are we not even mentioning like PSG?
Yeah, but we spoke about this with players, didn't we? There's no Ronaldinho anymore. Zidane doesn't exist anymore. These types of players don't. These types of managers don't exist anymore. They're not.
Look at how PSG changed from their whole thing of it's me to playing as a team and playing really bloody like fucking hell. Where'd that come from? Football.
Yeah, but that was board level. That was board level, and Enrique started it, didn't he? Luis Enrique.
Yeah, but I'm saying so. When before we went for Amorim, I was Enrique. I would have gone for him because I thought it was before PSG obviously done what they done, you know. And I was like, you know what? That's the perfect kind of manager to bring in. Everyone says the same. We don't have the players. We don't have the players. We've got to make a choice here. We need either a manager, or it doesn't matter what manager we get because we need to get rid of half the players.
Yeah, but we said the same after Ten Hag, and we said the same after Ole.
That's the argument that happened for the last 10 years. Yeah. And so my final part was going to be, and he's the forgotten man almost. Yeah, sorry, we'll do, Roger, we'll get to you in 1 second. Is the De Zerbi conundrum. Now, I never rated De Zerbi. I think he's too much of a hothead. A lot of people love De Zerbi, but I think he's too much of a hothead for me. So,
there's no way you're getting the Man United players doing his training. I know his training. I've seen the training pictures firsthand. There is no way if they could not do Amorim's structure, that they can do his. So I can tell you that.
So here's the end of my point then, and my point was going to be at the end of that. We will need to build around him, whoever that manager is. With Ancelotti or somebody of his ilk, he will build around him, as Jarvis made that point about Manu. You're not playing, son. You're on the bench. The end. Yeah. The Godfather comes out, sits on his seat. Nobody cares. So we either need an Ancelotti figure, or we need a De Zerbi figure, for argument's sake, or a Silva figure, for argument's sake, and a host of new players.
Well, I've seen other names.
But it would cost money. You know, this is why we need someone with pragmatism, someone who can sit and utilize what he got.
Yeah,
you know, that's the only solution out of this, because we know INEOS won't back the manager. We don't have any money. They will go on this. We use the same excuses and the same lies for the next manager. And I want to read out this from Rafa San coming in with the
South Africa,
99.99 South. South African rand. South African rand is the currency. Big up from South Africa coming in and saying we could get Pep and we would be in the same place in 14 months.
Yes.
The Glazers want a yes man, and they must give the job to Wilcox and see how little he really knows.
So
that's a good comment. I like that
that's
one.
A great comment. Yeah. Bombay, by the way, he would be in, if he was on the panel now, he'd be advocating Conte. He's been advocating Conte for 3 years.
It's in the chat quite a lot. I've seen it.
I see Rosmano mentioning Conte. Big up, bro.
He'd be advocating because Conte.
Pochettino's in there.
Yeah, no, forget that. No, forget that. No.
What about a certain Australian?
No, he can go and do one, and you could get him in for 6 months. That'd be quite comical. But De Zerbi is stubborn. But actually, Conte almost fits the mould of Ancelotti, doesn't he? Or so does, really. And you're never going to get him. We should try to get him 4 or 5 years ago. And
you would finally get your 3-5-2 with Conte. Yeah. Who were you saying?
Simeone of Athletic.
Simeone, yeah.
But you're not going to get him as the highest paid manager in world football. It just doesn't happen. How long has he been there now? 20 years?
Yeah.
I mean, I've lost count. I can't.
He's catching Fergie up, put it that way.
He's got to be. He's got to be. He's been at, and I bet he's had Real Madrid knocking on his door, Barcelona knocking on his door. I mean, I think he wants to go to Argentina, doesn't he? Eventually. He wants to run the
What about Mr. Good Evening, Unai Emery?
You're not going to get Emery out of Villa. Why would you? Why? If you're Unai Emery, why would you bother coming?
2011, Simeone started at Athletic.
2011. There you go. Amazing.
Like 15 years.
We haven't got a hope of getting Emery. Why would you? If you were Unai Emery, why would you move to United? He is, whether we like it or not, is doing some superb stuff at Villa, and he is allowed to get on with it with no interference at board level.
Yeah. The only thing, Stu, when it comes to these managers, we know that most of them have super big egos, and the Man United job is a quite of a challenge.
Yeah.
And a lot of these managers are triggered by this challenge, and I think this is the only reason why anyone would come in and take the job, because they have super confidence. They come in, believe they can change the club, believe they can change everything around, and be the guy who came in and saved Man United.
But is that not the problem? Is that not the main problem? Because that's what Amorim said. I can turn this around, but I need time. Well, you're not going to get it at Man United. Stu, you say it fucking week in, week out. It doesn't matter who you bring in, right? If you don't change the players and they perform, so they choose to turn up this week, but they don't turn up for the next 3 weeks, it don't matter who the manager is. It could be Big Sam. It could be Ancelotti. It doesn't matter. It's the players. So you can talk about formations because that's the same as talking about managers. We can't play a back four because our left back won't stay fit, and any other choice is playing someone else out of position. We still would only, if we play 4-3-3, we don't have the midfielders. We still need to buy midfielders because you would still play either Casemiro, Bruno, Mainu, or Ugarte. That's it. A combination of those three. You either play a single pivot or a double pivot. And the front three pick themselves, and you're going to drop Ahmad, Dorgu, and all these players who actually have got something, because you'll play Sesko, Cunha, and Mbumo, because that's 250 million you spent in the summer.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who we bring in because the team picks itself because we don't have that squad depth.
But he can't. But you're not going to bring a manager in and just have the team pick itself. You're not going to do that because you're going to have to pay another 10 million a year contract. So you've got to deliver what this gaffer wants. So you need a manager that's going to come in and rip right through that fucking squad of players with a fucking hot poker. That's what you need. These players need a hot poker shoved directly up their asses, every single one of them, and saying, I'm going to play this way, and you are going to fucking play the way I'm telling you to play, and you're not going to moan about it or whinge about it. The end. And that's why you need an Ancelotti type player.
And I totally agree with you, but we deserve better. He's just put 4 nations up there. Do you know where we fall down? Cunha is not a left wide player. Mount is not a left wide player. I was doing this myself. I'm going, we have no one on the left because Ahmad can't play on the left. Dorgu can't play on the left, both left-footed, but cannot play out there.
But Ahmad could play on the left if he pulled his finger out.
He doesn't want to. It
Well,
shows.
that's not good enough, but that ain't good enough.
We played him as a left 10. He kept going back over to the right and finding him on the right wing.
Somebody like Ancelotti, he wouldn't do that because he wouldn't fucking play. And rightly so. You do what I tell you to do, or you sit on the bench. And you can cry to as much as you like. I don't care.
But then the results don't happen and that manager's sacked and they win.
And what's been happening for the last 10 years?
No, but that's the vicious circle we will never get away from.
How many managers? Did you read the stat that De Ligt have never had a manager more than 1 year in his whole career?
Oh, well, yeah, it's poor De Ligt, yeah.
Well, part of that is him changing clubs, though.
Well, yeah, well, you know, it is what it is. By the way, Rushmano came out with this. It's a breaking news. Rúben Amorim walked away with £10 million payoff after being sacked by Man United today, according to Chris Wheeler and Mike Keegan. And he also left another comment. I'm not quite understanding the total package of his coaches amount.
Well, that's what I said earlier. I knew that this morning. It was 27 million to pay them all off.
So this is costing us our January transfer. To be fair, and I can't see us signing any players now when we come to January. Where's the money coming from?
Jarvis, this is what I said about half an hour ago. This is literally what I said. We sacked the manager, and now INEOS get to cover it up. Oh, because we had to get rid of the manager, we can't buy players. It cost 27 million to clear out all the coaches and the manager. I've already said that.
Yeah, but you're not paying 27 million out like that. You ain't getting 10 million in his bank today, tomorrow, or 27
the only thing they pay out instantly will be the compensation, and that's it. And for the instant dismissal, they pay out the contract.
The rest will be over 3 years.
The rest will be over, or the only way he gets all that money instantly would, like you said, that's why he signs an NDA. Otherwise, he doesn't get that money. If he signs an NDA, you pay him all that money. The NDA is now bought out, and he can say what he wants because you paid him.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that 27 mil won't really affect us too much. But it is what it is.
It depends how much we actually had available.
Well, according to everybody, we had 70 million for or 65 for Semenya, didn't we? Apparently.
Well,
is this true, Ida? Did Ollie recently move to Manchester?
No, he's living in Norway. Northern Norway as well. Apparently, it took 4 hours for Roy Keane to drive to his house.
No, that's just the middle of Norway. If you want to drive to northern Norway, that's like a two days. Yeah, 2 days drive.
He was talking about it. It was like one hell of a beautiful drive, but Jesus Christ, he thought the drive was never going to end.
I think he's in Kristiansand, isn't he?
If you're in Oslo and you want to go to where I live, it's the same as it's as long as going to Rome. The other way.
Yeah, I think he lives in Kristiansand.
He said he is, Stu?
Kristiansand, yeah.
Yeah, that's in the south. That's in the south.
Yeah, he's in Kristiansand, yeah.
A lot of great comments coming in, and there's a lot of things to cover tonight. We are 1 hour 13 minutes into the show. I want to do 1 hour 30 minutes, and then we can do a Q&A, because I think we need to let the community speak, and I want to hear your opinions when it comes to the sacking of Amorim. Your points on INEOS, the Glazers, and who do you think it will be the next manager? But I want to do a little thing. I want to look at the team. We talked a little bit about it. The next manager coming in. I set up a lot of players in double positions, and I set us up in a basically a 4-2-3-1. And how I see it, we have 3 left backs, we have 2 centre backs on the left side, 2 on the right side, plus Lenny Euro. We have Casemiro, Mainu centrally, Ugarte, Mount, Bruno for the 10, Cunha, the only left-sided player as I can see it. We have Ahmad and Bumo and Shea Lacey on the right, and Xerxes and Sesko on top. So, if we are going to pick, let's say, a team, strongest Man United 11 in a 4-2-3-1, where would you go, guys? Lamens obviously will be the goalkeeper. So let's just remove players. Let's start on the left back. Dorgu, Shaw, or Diego Leon?
Well, you play Luke Shaw, wouldn't you, as a straight left back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're asking us to pick for one game, not one season.
No, well, trying to look at the strongest team. Centre backs. Let's say we have Heaven, Maguire, Martinez, Euro, and De Ligt. So who is the two guys who gets the nod for the starting?
The
De Ligt and Heaven for me.
De Ligt and Heaven.
Yeah.
Mark?
I would have said De Ligt and Maguire.
Okay.
If we're putting Luke Shaw saying he stays fit, then you've got to say Maguire's in the same boat.
So you would actually bench Martinez?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. No, I think he's our best player. I would go.
Yeah,
I would
but
go
I'm
De
not
Ligt and Martinez.
I'm not. I'm having him now as a holding midfielder. I'm not playing him as a central. Yeah.
All right. So okay. Let's put in Maguire. I know you love Maguire. So on the right hand side, Dallo or Masraoui, who would you go for?
Grace all day long.
Yeah, Masraoui.
Okay. Sorry, Grace. So we have our back four: Luke Shaw, Maguire, De Ligt, and Masraoui. Centrally in the midfield, the double pivots. We go with
single
Casemiro,
pivot.
Mainu.
Single pivot.
And this is where we're going to disagree. I'd have Casemiro, and he's going to have Martinez.
Yeah, single pivot is Martinez any day of the week.
Okay.
All day of the week.
And for the two number 8s then?
Casemiro and Bruno.
So where do you play Mount and Bruno?
You don't get Mount in for me. Sorry.
Okay. So we go Casemiro and
Bruno.
Yeah. In the midfield.
Yep.
Okay, so you're sticking with Bruno. Interesting.
I am.
On the left-hand side, you have Cunha. Not many options as I see it. Right-hand side, Ahmad, Mbumo, O'Shea Lacey. Okay, no Shea Lacey, but Ahmad and Mbumo.
Mbumo all day long.
Mbumo. Okay, so Ahmad on the bench. And Sesko as the number 9. So this is our strongest 11 in a 4-3-3.
That's what I would do. That's what I would do currently with what we've got players-wise.
I don't want to take Martinez out, but Martinez can cover the two centre-backs. That's the way I see him because of his lack of height. But I'll drop Casemiro and I'll play Ahmad in that second 10.
You drop Casemiro?
No, I would play Casemiro. Martinez would come out the team. Casemiro plays proper position in holding position.
Okay.
And Ahmad would come in as a second 10 if you're playing 2 10s. It's whether you're playing an 8, a 10, and a 6, or you're playing 2 10s and a 6 or 2 8s.
You're playing 2 8s.
Guys, this is not looking good. It's not looking balanced at all. You can't play Bruno and Ahmad in the 10s.
It doesn't work for me, no.
No. You need someone with who could conduct the game. Kobe Mainu for me. I think he needs to play.
Yeah, Mainu alongside Bruno would be another option. But you can't put Martinez after one half of football as a holding midfielder. He's done it for like one game at Ajax and then one game against Newcastle, and then it all went tits up in the second half.
You can play Martinez as a holding 6, no problem. Piece of cake. Eyes shut. He's one of those players that can adapt. He's a Mazzari type player, no problem. No messing around. I'd have him over Casemiro as a 6, but use Casemiro as an 8 because
I would do something like this. Just play Casemiro, Mainu a little bit higher, not like a flat pivot, but 6, 8, 10.
The whole problem is the left hand side anyway. It doesn't matter. Shaw would have to work his arse off and get injured, and Cunha has proven in the last 5 games he cannot track back.
For this to work, you need Ugarte, actually. You need more legs. Because he needs to cover for Cunha all the time.
That's why you run Martinez.
Yeah, but you don't have the legs.
If you're covering Cunha, you'd leave the midfield wide open because he's a defensive midfielder. He should go left and right. He can't cover one side.
Yeah, but this is why you drop Martinez and you put in... you drop Maguire and put in Martinez. And Martinez will go into the midfield. And suddenly we are back to the back.
Someone did say you could play Martinez as a left back.
Yeah. There will be so many options. We will have more time to discuss the first lineup for Fletcher. we know he will go with a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. So it will be interesting to see how he picks his team.
Yeah, he's going to play 4 at the back.
Can 100%. I just say 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3? It's the same formation. You're just asking. You're just moving your wide players one line further back. That's all you've done. If you're playing 4-3-3, those two will be on front line, and then it's still 3 in midfield, isn't it?
I would definitely play a regular 4-3-3 if we didn't have Bruno, but I don't think Bruno will do well on an 8. So for me, we need Bruno as the second striker. So basically, Bruno will be up here with Sesko. And, you know, we would always have 2 players covering for him, and we will be more in balance, because I think the balance...
find that interesting. Casemiro has been our best player, and you leave him instantly out by changing manager.
Yeah, that's me. That's me, because I think we need more... we need legs, and Casemiro doesn't have the legs to cover ground. And I think this is where we are lacking in a lot of games. We don't have the stamina. And I think this is why we turn off in games. You know, you see us coming out second halves, conceding a couple of goals in the first 5 to 10 minutes. You see us dropping in points after being up 1-0, 2-0. And, you know, I think this is one of our problems. We don't have the energy needed for playing in the Premier League. So we need more players. But this is not the end product. We will see more when we come there. So...
But I will say it again, most of those points in the second half, Casemiro's off the pitch.
Yeah.
So it's got nothing to do with him conceding the goals. He goes off, Ugarte comes on, we concede goals because Ugarte's a headless chicken.
I think Ugarte was quite good against Leeds. You know, I think he's a player there.
Yeah, because he started
not for the long run, but I think he's a decent squad player. He just needs more confidence. He's still young. I think people judge him too harshly because, you know, being a midfielder, especially, it's you don't peak at 20, 23, 24. You peak at 28, 29. That's just my thoughts on football. But coming to, I want to talk about Gary Neville. For me, now, Gary Neville, he came out with an interview, and for me, you know, Gary Neville is more and more like a INEOS puppet. You know, the way he talks about things, I think he's the INEOS, you know, what's it called? I think they do their PR through Gary Neville. They think alike, and we know he has interest in the hotels, the area around Manchester. There's a lot of money for Gary Neville getting involved in this. And guys, what's your thought? Did you see the Gary Neville interview today when he talked about it? Because for me, you know, he doesn't say anything. You know, he's just parroting INEOS and the structure.
Jarvis, I've got it on my watch list to watch or listen to in the morning, but I don't need to watch it because I saw him speak about the projects. The fact is, he wants his land. He wants the opportunity to grow his wealth. And as Stuart's already alluded to, billionaires. He wants to be a billionaire. He's going to keep his. He's going to, you know, if Ratcliffe asks him to hold his cock, he's going to hold his cock because he wants that choice. It is that simple, and that's how you make money. You don't go and piss off the richer person in the room. You go, mate. Yes, mate. What can I do to help you? Let me serve you. That's how you make money. But he's sold his soul, and he's being called out for it. And he's being called out even on the bloody overlap. If you actually listen to some of the little digs being made at him by Roy Keane and Jamie Carragher.
I don't listen to it. Yeah.
If anyone does, actually, Rio is the one you need to listen to. He's getting in the club, and he's still calling the club out.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long that will last, but you know, he's just as two-faced anyway. But
Rio, he was very strong on the Saudi on the links, the Qatar links, and all of this. You know, he came out. He said that it was a done deal. You know, right before the bomb.
Yeah, he now lives in Dubai. I would say he probably knew some of it.
Yeah. We deserve better. Say Neville is part of the consortium. You know, that's a lobbying Manchester council for funding the new stadium in Woolwich. Yeah.
He'll be selling a lot of land, Mr. Neville. And then around hotel football, he'll be selling a lot of land. He owns a lot of land there. He'll make some good money on that. his company will.
And remember, that land is his fuse for his hotel as well. You know, what's he going to be seeing? So
Exactly.
the guy is ridiculously smart, and I'm surprised he was ever a footballer because his business IQ is very high for where he's got himself.
It's actually his dad.
Well, Neville.
Yeah, it was his old man. They got him investing in property when they got their first large paychecks. They built a small empire. Phil Neville's just as rich, but you never hear of it.
Yeah, well, he's still out there doing his job.
They were buying up property, buying up loads of property, and using that. I tell you, Robbie Fowler was the same. He's got houses right across the spine of the UK and properties around the spine of the UK. Back in the day, that's what they were doing with the money. Quite interesting.
Yeah.
Big ups, Stephanie. Big ups, Stephanie.
Yeah.
But Gary Neville is now tooting his horn and say we need more experience. We need an experienced manager in Man United, manager who knows the DNA of the club. He talks about the DNA. He wants to play with a back four. He's obviously saying the things that Wilcox is saying. Back four wingers, play attacking, attractive football. And, we all love that dream. This is that's the United way that we used to see, in the 90s and 2000s. But why is he coming out all of this? He's been banging his drum about this for quite a while now.
I don't know. It's something like Gary Neville. They're opportunists, and he knows that he's a voice for Manchester United fans and Manchester United around the world. Don't forget, he works over in the US now as well. Does a lot of stuff for the Premier League in the US. He's just a voice. I take no notes of him. Don't take any notes of Rio at all. The only ones I listen to really is Skulls and Butt. I think their podcast.
Yeah,
I think that is refreshing.
The overlap,
refreshing.
But it's now too commercialised. It's grown too big, the overlap, as it needs to, or stick to football, whatever it's called. And it needs to rein itself back in because, there's so many podcasts around now, and there's so many bullshit that goes around. So I think Neville, I just pay zero attention to him. Honestly, zero attention to him.
I think.
Well, you mentioned Scholes, and his number one is Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah,
they talked about Thomas Tuchel. Sorry, Mark, for interrupting you. What you were saying?
No, I just mean it's the obvious choice, isn't it? It's the obvious choice because we know he's really already starting to look away from the England job with what he said. I wish I could work with these players every day. That's being a real manager, not an international manager. So, if you know football, he's a good fit, but he's not a good fit for INEOS. In fact, he's the worst fit for INEOS.
But he turned us down, though. Don't forget, he wasn't interested. So I don't see why he'd be interested again, really.
Well, because he isn't a puppet.
He's been at Chelsea. He knows how it is.
3 managers, but aren't puppets. So they're great for the club. They are how to bring the club forward in one direction or another. In Xavi, Nagelsmann, Tuchel, but none of them will listen. Xavi walked away from Barcelona because they couldn't reinvest the money. They didn't have money to keep moving him forward, so he stepped away. And he did it. He terminated his contract, took no extra money from the club. And then Nagelsmann, where Bayern Munich are now, it's him that started that ball rolling. He brought them back from the brink. And that was a gamble, young manager. We tried that gamble and it's failed with Amorim. But if Amorim had gone to Bayern Munich, they would have backed him. They would have backed him to the cows come home.
Well, we'll see how good Germany haven't rocked up any trees, have they, recently? And Nagelsmann's been there, for 2 seasons, 2 years?
He came in after the last tournament, didn't he? So this will be his tournament. And at the end of the day, you only need to turn up for the tournament.
Yeah, they haven't pulled up any trees, though, have they? So we shall see. I don't know about Nagelsmann for me. I don't get all the hype, to be honest.
No. Guys, one more thing before we go to the Q&A. But guys, start getting your questions in. We have started a couple of questions from the chat, but we are open for more questions. But I just want to have your opinion on Kobbie Mainoo, because this came out, the report that Kobbie Mainoo and Rúben Amorim had a shouting match at Carrington at the end of the last season. But Mainoo refused to give up on his MUFC career. Any thoughts on this?
Show me proof. It's the same name again. Show me proof. Show me
Okay.
video evidence. Show me why is this coming out now?
Yeah. I mean, the sentence is, suggests he was confident about outlasting the manager, says everything you need to know about a modern day footballer. Everything you need to know. If I shout, scream, don't do this, don't do that, I'll get rid of you eventually, you'll be gone and I'll still be here. It tells you everything you need to know about modern day football and modern day journalism, by the way.
Yeah, but I do think we need tension to grow. And I don't see it as a problem. I've been a player myself for over 40 years. I know how it is to be on that pitch. You shout at your manager, you shout at your teammates, you get involved. Sometimes it even gets physical. You launch into tackles just for revenge. You see red, your blood is boiling, and this is how it is to be a footballer. We all been there. We know how it is.
Jarvis, I'm on both sides of this. I've done it. I've shouted at coaches, managers, and now I get it at me. And do you know what? As a coach, like in the moment, you're like, you fucking shut up and you listen to me. But when the doors close and you're on your own, you're going, at least he's got fucking balls. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I want in a player. At least, don't do that again. But I respect you for actually saying your piece. Standing up and saying something. Kobe Mainoo went out and he trained all through the summer. You've commented on yourself. He bulked up. He may have overbulked, whatever. But he did something to try and better himself. But what he didn't do was when his chance came, he was fucking injured. That is a bad footballer.
Yeah.
Because the best skill a footballer can have is to be available. And he wasn't available when his chance came. He's missed his chance. And who stepped in? The Fletcher.
It's true. Guys, it's time for the Q&A. We have a lot of questions. Get your questions in. Just start with a letter Q or question, or at least have a question mark at the end so we know what comments to start. And we will try to answer as many for, let's say, the next half an hour. So just get your questions in. I will play the jingle and Stu will take the lead. Yes.
What a show, Jarvis. What a show, Mark. It's been an unusual day again, as per usual, for the life of Manchester United fan. And, what I find interesting about most things is opinions are great. And it's always been, everybody's opinion's always been allowed to stand on this channel, and the Devilish Tacticos, once again, like they did last night, have been top draw with what they have been saying. So really pleased about that. Get your questions in, guys. Ask us anything you like. If you want a bit of fun element, ask us, favorite colors, whatever. If you want a bit of fun, if you just want to talk football, that's fine as well. Let's start off with the first question.
And by the way, Stu, before we move on, just a quick reminder, a lot of people watching tonight, so please do us a favor, smash the like. The like is so important for the YouTube algorithms, for us to get the channel out there. We are a small channel and, we always struggle, but we have you guys, and you are our key to move out on the world of YouTube. So please do us a favor, smash and like.
New pegs. A Christmas present. Yeah, these are soft ground or firm ground. Yeah, these are firm ground. New Predators. Anyway, let me know what you think. I don't know. They feel a bit. I don't know. They're going to make their debut this week.
Is it square studs or round studs?
Yes, these are multi-ground. These are. So I shall give them a run out on Wednesday, and I'll let you know. But I just thought I'd show you them anyway. I don't know what you think of them. But anyway,
looks smashing.
Anyway.
But you know, it's a little bit conservative. I thought you were going for pink, but you know.
No. I like black. My training boots are white, as you know, but they're the boots that I wear just for training and dicking about in. But my go-to boots are World Cups and Copa Mundials. My backup pairs are Kaisers, both screw-in and molded. Plus, I got 3 pairs of 2G boots, 3 pairs of multi-gram boots, and my training pegs, which are those white ones that I was dicking about with the crossbar challenge. So anyway, first question from Gavin Underwood. He says, do you think FIFA will pull the World Cup out of the USA completely now? Why? What a question. I know there's a political edge attached to it. You're not asking for the political side of it. I get it. But Jarvis, the US have started to knock on. I don't know where. Anyway,
yes, yeah, I know all about it. I've been watching the news, and we also have the Greenland thing, and it is what it is. I'm not a political person. I don't watch the news because I have stopped wasting my energy when it comes to stuff like this. I have to be honest. It pisses me off, and it's not the world I want to live in. I don't think war is the answer, but it is what it is. But if there's any consistency, the US should be removed because of what happened in other countries. But it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Mark.
I think it should have been removed from America as soon as they started denying visas before any of this happened. Anyway, so you've got the African fans that can't come. We've got overpriced things where it's the stories this week, but we can't even go as fans. It's going to cost me about 50,000 to see the tournament if we make the final.
Yes,
that's nice. Well, you're taking the fucking piss. Like, just pull it. Just literally go. Sorry, you're not having it, and we'll set it up in England because we know England can go straight away.
Yeah. As much as Gav, I'd love to pull it from the US. It'll cost FIFA billions and billions and billions because of the infrastructure for all 3 countries. Even if they pulled it directly from the US and pushed it to Canada and Mexico, as they say. Although I think he threatened them again today, didn't he, along with Colombia and anyone else he fancies. I'm just taking Greenland. Don't worry about that, Denmark. Forget he's part of your kingdom. We'll just have that. Yeah, he's a fucking... Anyway, unfortunately, financially, it won't be doable, Gavin, but I agree. I think it should come out from America. Not because of that. I don't think it should be there anyway, personally. What else have we got? Boxing Straight Talk. Will we be happy with a point against Burnley? No, absolutely not. We have to, irrespective of what's happened today, we should be going to Burnley and beating them. So no. Jarvis?
3 points? No. That would be dreadful. We need 3 points. That's the only, we have taken now, I think it's 6 points in the last 5 games. We're averaging just about 1 point a game, and I think it's not enough for us to reach Stu's prediction of 66 points.
66.
We are closer to Jarvis's 55 points, but let's see at the end of the season.
We are at the moment. You swine. Mark, quick answer.
No, we should never be happy. We're down the bottom. We have to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. Boxing Straight Talk Up, that answers your question. Peteson, Pete, hope you're well, mate. Question is, with INEOS 18 billion in debt, did they dupe the Glazers to get a foot into Manchester United? Mark, you can start with that one.
INEOS aren't in Manchester United. They have nothing to do with them. Ratcliffe is in Man United, not INEOS, the company.
Yeah, it's his personal wealth, yeah. Jarvis, do you want to chime in on that? Oh, he doesn't know. He doesn't know what to say.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I think they both thought they made a good deal. They were just like smiling and shaking hands, and that's how you make a marriage in hell. With the INEOS and the Glazers. I don't like any of them, and for me, they can both F off and sell the club. And I want us to be free. You know, I don't want billionaires, swines, or whatever you want to call them to represent me. I'm a Man United fan, not an INEOS fan or a Glazer fan.
What I will say on this, I had words from my mum. So I am going to say, my mum owned her own business. My granddad owned their own business. Never trust someone who will do whatever it takes to be part of your company.
Well, as fellow business owners, myself and Jarvis, yeah, absolutely. It's a warning I would always heed. Look, I never thought it was a good bit of business. Why you'd invest 1.4 billion for 25% is in nonsense, quite frankly. And with really no hope of buying the club out. No, it's a very simple venture capitalist deal, I think, for me. I'm in for 4 years, and within that 4 years, I want to double my money. I want to come out with 2.83 bill. That's the way I look at it.
So now we're almost 2 years in, Stu. He's fucked up, isn't he? Because I don't think he can double that money now. It's impossible.
Unless we get sold for 10 billion. Then he gets it.
Yeah.
Well, this is how I think the deal was made. They both came in. They said, the Glazers said, okay, you can take care of the footballing side, and we will take care of the financial side.
By the way, but we want wink, but
and shaking hands, and everybody's like happy, but it's all about the financial side. You know, we all know it.
Soft deal, stupid deal. Anyway, Pete, I hope you're still watching, mate, and hope you're well. I hope that answers your question. Question for me and you, Jarvis from End the Madness. Mark, sorry, buddy. And he says, Jarvis, Stu, and Mark, should we go for Eddie Howe or Pochettino? Well, I already made my Pochettino feelings very clear. Eddie Howe, not pulled up at the trees I thought he was going to pull up at Newcastle, actually. I do like him. I think he's a very good manager. I like his persona. But no, I wouldn't have Eddie Howe now either. Interim, yes, absolutely. Yeah, very short-term, 6-month contract, be a very safe pair of hands to come into Manchester United. But no, not full-time.
If I can bulge in, I would say I would gladly take Eddie Howe as our next manager. I know he's not the biggest name. He's not the guy who can come in and promise us a bright future, but I think it will be the perfect stepping stone manager for the next level. Because
he's no Marco Silva there. He's no Marco Silva.
Yeah, but I understand where we are at the moment. We need someone who has the experience, and Marcus Silva, Eddie Howe, Andoni Iraola. I don't think any of them will win us the Premier League, but I think they will move us forward and help us as a footballing club. That's just how I see it.
No, good call, Mark.
I'll take Eddie Howe in a heartbeat. I think he's a very, very smart coach. He played totally different football at both clubs. What he's done with young players as well that he brought through at Bournemouth to stabilise Bournemouth before moving on. I think he's the perfect kind of coach. But again, I don't think we have the players to play his kind of football. Well, we do for the time wasting that he plays now. But apart from the time wasting Newcastle do, that again, they're quick transitional players. It just wouldn't suit our players that we have.
No, totally agree. And the Madness, hope you're still watching, and that's our
he's still here.
Brilliant. Gordon Hill 76, what a player, what a winger. Question, gents. So, taking out all the key personnel from Rashford, Wilcox, Amorim, keenness for me are the Glazers, well documented, and INEOS. Can anyone point to Sir Jim delivering real sports success? Well, no.
Not unless that's a new company he's investing in. Real sport.
Absolutely. I can't point to any sporting success at all.
I can point to plenty of failure. Switzerland, France.
Not the question, but, well, exactly. But, yeah, any sporting success, not for me.
I think he scored in his youth.
Oh,
playing polo, on the course.
Yes, maybe.
And even if you go to cycling, that wasn't him. That he may have funded it, but that's all on the people he did employ.
Mr. Brailsford.
That's Brailsford, nothing to do with Sir
And
Jim.
that very thin line. We won't say any more about that either.
What, that 1% line?
Brailsford.
Don't you think that 0.1% line? We won't say any more about that. Neil, great question. Actually, I like that question. But you're right. Ultimately, you've answered your own question anyway. There has been no sporting success. Jarvis, Rushmano says, thank you, by the way, Gordon, for that question. Rushmano says Maresca forced himself out of Chelsea.
Yeah, I just saw that because it's not a question, but I was going to bring it up. Thank you, Rushmano. But this is the point. This is why I don't think we will get Maresca as our new coach, because I think he's not in line of the INEOS policy of being a fake ass.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Mark?
I said, I just don't trust Ratcliffe to not bring in someone to do with Chelsea. It's as simple as that.
Always finds himself in the kitchen at parties. Okay, Rushmano, thank you for that. We do have a question. I'm not quite sure what he's referring to, so Jarvis, I'll let you take this.
No, it's a fair question, and Nelson, we will try to have a call in. We talk about it a lot of the time, and when we do it, it's always a success. So maybe we should do a call in. We have a game coming on Wednesday.
We play Wednesday.
Yeah, so we have to do the match preview tomorrow and the match reaction Wednesday. I don't know if you're around Wednesdays too, but.
No, because I'll be at footy, so I'm not going to be able to watch the game. But we could do Thursday if you didn't want to do it Wednesday.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. But we definitely should have a call in soon. And
we do need a call in. I enjoy the call ins.
We can do a Friday night call in or something like that.
Yeah, maybe a call in show. I did like the call in show.
8 p.m. or something. Yeah.
Yeah, an 8 p.m. show. Yeah. Okay. Good question. Thank you, Nelson. Hope you're still watching, mate. And if you are, the call-in show is on the horizon.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I was just starring it from Trevor.
I didn't realise fucking Trev was in. Fucking asking questions.
Keep your hands up, Jarvis, where we can see them.
Yeah, mate. Let's see if we can read Trev's question out then. Question: even if you think Amorim was out of his depth, what was his biggest failure as a manager for you guys? For me, would just not adapt. A good question, Mark.
Honestly, his biggest failure, Jarvis probably going to start nodding, his coaches. His bench, who he brought in, was his biggest reason he failed. Coaches who can barely kick a ball. I've watched them in warm-ups now multiple times. I spoke about it on my show. You know, if they can't kick a ball, why are the players going to listen to them? And plus, they were too young. Some of them never even played professional football. I think 2 of them. You know, and he had no experience. Like Jarvis, I know for a fact you said it. He needed McLaren or someone sat next to him on the bench.
100%.
So yeah, for me, the biggest thing was not having experienced coaches, and it's a huge thing. So that's why he was out of his depth. That's why he was always treading water.
I think for me, the biggest failure was coming in mid-season. He should never have come in December. He should have waited until the end of the season and then come in the summertime and have a summer transfer window first, and then go into this first season and having the new manager bounce and all of this. You know, he gave the manager bounce to Ruud, and when he came in, you know, the players were done doing their finest. To show the new manager.
That was another INEOS fuck up. They said it's now or never. That was well reported. You've got to come now.
100%. But he should have rejected them. You should have seen the madness and said, no, I'm not doing it.
I agree with both of you. For me, I think, unfortunately, I'm going to go with him lacking balls.
Overconfidence.
Because when you come to Manchester United, you've got to be the man. You have to be the man. When you're going to any managerial job, you've got to be the man. But particularly at Manchester United, you've got to be the man. And I don't think he had that aura about him to do it. So, good question, Trev, for you. I'm only joking, mate. Dan, we'll come back to yours in a minute. Rashmano, we've done one of yours, so we'll come back to yours in a minute. Steph, bit of a fun question. Are Darren Fletcher's parents the famous Norman, Stanley, and Jessica Fletcher? Who knows? Good question. Trevor, I'll quickly answer this one. My favourite colour when I was growing up and I was, a child into my teens, early 20s, was red, obviously. But when my son Jake was 4, I was wearing a blue roll neck. And he said to me, you look very handsome, Dad. What daddies, he said, in blue. And so ever since that, blue has been my favourite colour, and that's the reason. So
you heard it here first, guys. He changed from red to blue. Just saying.
I did indeed. We deserve better.
His second colour, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Question: who would you sign? Who would be realistically available in January? Just one signing. Mark, I'll start with you on that one.
So we're paying cash money.
Yes.
Edison, Atalanta. 35 million euros buyout clause.
Okay.
James Garner. I would bring in James Garner, 100%. Someone who could dictate the tempo of the game, defensively, stability, and Premier League proven experienced player. And he suits the fit. He knows the club. So for me, I think he would be a perfect player. And I see that ILP agrees with me. Big up to now.
Yeah,
Jarvis, shut you down there. I love that, but the way we treated him, I doubt he'll ever come back to the club.
Well, I don't know, but I would try. At least I would try. Sound the birch.
I would get Anderson in from Fulham. No two ways about it.
Good player.
Yeah, get him in.
Robinson.
We've got Trev. We've done your question. Okay, we have one here from Wicker. Do you think this is an opportunity for INEOS to hire Gareth Southgate? Would probably be the type of manager they won't. I'll quickly go in on that. I don't think they'll touch Southgate with a barge pole. I think they've read the room on that one, to be honest. I don't think that's even in the tea leaves, that one for me.
On my video earlier, I told him if anyone brings up Southgate, I'm kicking them.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't see it. Jarvis?
No, I'm not having it. That will be a joke. That will be a slap in the face to all the Man United fans. We can't hire Southgate. No.
So unfortunately, now Jarvis has said that, I can see it fucking happening.
Yeah, can't do it. Scammering Night, thank you for that one, pal. Scammering Night for you, Jarvis. Greenland belongs to the country, doesn't it? It's Denmark.
Yes, it's Denmark, not Norway. Although Denmark and Norway used to be in a union back in the days, and the Danish king was the ruler of Norway up until our independence.
People forget that.
Then we got our own law, we got our own judicial system, and Sweden took over, and Norway became free in 1905 from Sweden. Yeah. So we have been ruled by both Denmark and Sweden.
Yeah.
No,
they're the kingdom of Denmark, but they do have their own laws and they do govern themselves, Greenland, but are overruled by the kingdom of Denmark. So, and that's how it is. America, what a feeble. Anyway, I'm not getting into it. Great question, though. Quick one from Trev, just a bit of fun. Can any of you do an impression? So you don't have to ask Jarvis, as he just exudes Rick Astley. No, I can't do an impression. No, I'm just poor. Jarvis, you can do the Godfather.
I can do that. Yeah. I'll give you an offer you can't refuse.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Or I can do the never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna turn around.
The sun always shines on TV. What a poem.
Oh yeah, I can do that. Sun always shines on TV. Oh me. What in heart?
Close to your heart.
It's the too old of a reference for most people. That's what way back in the 80s.
Yeah, it's the 80s. Morton Harkett, yeah. Mark, can you do an impression?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Say hello to my little friend.
Guys.
What was
That's
that?
the only one I do. If anyone
Oh.
knows where that's from, let me know in the chat.
You do that again?
Guys.
Was that fucking donkey off a fucking Shrek or something?
Close.
Oh, fuck knows.
Yes. Yes, Sean's got it.
What Sean said? Sloth.
Sloth.
Oh, right, okay. Wouldn't have a clue. Anyway, moving on. PT90 says, do you think Amorim intentionally lowered our standards to expect little so as to cover his inefficiencies and insecurities? No, I think no. I don't. No, I don't believe that. Jarvis?
No, I don't think he lowered his standards. I think he did his best, as best as he could. Yeah.
Sorry,
Really
PT90.
point out here that those players didn't stop running for him in the game before he went piss. At no point did the players lay down tools, or they were giving their best in a formation they didn't necessarily understand. That's the way I saw it.
That Leeds game was a particularly tough game of football.
Yeah,
a really hard game of football. I was watching it thinking, God, I'd love to be involved in that, but at the same time, I might fake injury because we're in the middle of that park. That was tough going.
Speed the Leeds midfield has is
championship manager, championship team. Yeah, thanks for your question, PT90. Nelson's back in, and he says he wants to know actually where do we get the 65 million to spend for Semenyo when our coffers only showed 27 million in cash flows? Like, Jarvis, you're going to wave the imaginary credit card out again, or?
Yeah, it's always the credit line, and we still have credit line, and we can spend money if we want to, but there's always a question of rates. How many times we could pay this money over how many years. So 65 million divided by, let's say, 5 years. We only need 27 million to pay the first payment.
Yeah. No, it would have cost us more than 65 million to spread that. It's a one-off fee. A buyout clause is a one-off 65 million upfront payment.
It would have cost us 70 mil. That would have.
Yeah, and that's why it didn't go any further, because they were guaranteed 65 from everyone else.
It would have cost us 75. Yeah. Good question. But there is always ways and means of, when you want to buy something and you can't afford it, you always find a way if you desperately want it. So there's always ways and means. James asked me a quick question. Why are you so adamant that they won't fuck this manager appointment up like the last two? I actually think they will fuck it up.
Yeah, me too.
Jamie, if I've given you the impression I said otherwise, I apologise. I didn't think I had. I think they'll fuck it up. I think
maybe that should be a poll. Maybe that should be a poll. Do you think INEOS will fuck up the next manager as well? Yeah,
I think if they went for somebody like Ancelotti, it wouldn't be a fuck. It wouldn't be. It would be a great appointment. But I've got no hope in hell for the new manager that comes to the door. So sorry, Jamie, if I've given that impression, I'm sorry, mate, because honestly, I think they'll fuck it up completely. Right, what's we got? Okay, I like this question from Sean.
Big up,
Mark,
Sean.
start with this one. Yeah, big up, my old mate. Spent some time with Sean. I was really lucky to meet Sean at the Wolves match. Him and Dylan, both top guys. Please go and subscribe to their channel.
That's not what he told me, but that's okay.
Well, Sean, I know. I'm sure Sean told you that Wooly, absolute. Okay.
Sean is a great guy.
Do you know why it is? I said, I get your pint. You and Dylan, what do you want? Oh, a Guinness. Oh, fucking fantastic. True drinker. We got there and the Guinness was off. So I had to go back with lager. I was embarrassed.
Oh.
But I had no choice.
If I was there.
Anything else? You're in
I was better off going with lemonade, I know, but I had no choice. So. Anyway, Sean says, of all the interims, I like this question. Who should have been given a bit more time? You can't really say Ollie on that one. You've got to take Ollie out of the equation.
I already knew my answer. I saw this when it went in the chat, and I went with the name that came to my head first, Ryan Giggs.
Yep.
Ryan Giggs running down the wing. You think so?
Mr. Jarvis, just read and weep. I'm just saying.
Top man, Stu. Top man.
What, Stu? What happened in Top Man?
Nothing happened in Top Man. Yes. See, Guinness. Sean was making Guinness by the end of that trip.
Hey, you could have been on the baby Guinness.
No, nobody does that. You only have Guinness. You can't have it in any other way. Yes. So, so you're going for gigs. And Jarvis?
Carrick. I think Carrick did a good job. I like Carrick. I actually think he could have done a good job. If he could have kept him out the season, then who knows?
I'm going with Carrick as well, actually, to be fair. I thought, I agree, Carrick.
So I genuinely think he'll be back on the coaching staff, this for the Burnley game.
I think he'll be back, yeah. Rogue, Sean, I hope that answers your question, pal. Rogue 12 says, rhetorical question. Will we ever win the Premier League under the Glazers? Okay.
No.
I'd like to give the rhetorical answer to that one.
No. Big fat no.
I think we've answered your question, Rogue. Hence the rhetorical side of it. So, yeah. I like it, though. Thanks for that question. It's quite. You should have put a funny smiling face by the side of that one, and we would just put a thumbs up.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Someone should put Ragnick in there. And do you know what?
Ragnick he didn't need time as a manager. We should have kept him in his consultancy role or hired him as our director of football. The end. I said, and I was very clear with Ragnick, Mark, when I was on the show. I told Jarvis.
I don't disagree with that, but Ragnick is a shout. That is a fair shout.
Great chat. He was brilliant for us, Ragnick. The Primot says, what if we could loan Vardy for some minutes and goals? Great shout, mate. Great shout.
Where is Vardy at the moment? Where is he? Where is he?
He's scoring goals in Italy.
Como, isn't it? Is it
Cremonese?
Oh, Cremonese. I knew in Italy.
Scoring goals.
How many goals?
Very well.
Did I not say that he was the perfect free transfer to bring in when he left that as a backup striker?
You said
we had experience.
Jarvis said DCL.
So four goals in 14 matches so far. He's not too shabby.
No, it's not too shabby at all. I don't think he's starting every game either.
No, he's not. He's coming off the bench, isn't he, almost?
Yeah, I think he is, yeah. But he's loving life in Italy.
Yeah, that was Italy's a beautiful country. Yeah.
Oh, I love Italy. I do. When I go to the motor racing,
the food there is brilliant.
Yes, the girls. Oh no. Anyway, moving on.
Gelato.
Yes.
Ice cream.
Gelato. Right. Another one from Trev. We've got a couple left. Just looked at the time. We're over 2 hours, my old mate.
Okay.
Who has been our biggest miss either through injury or AFCON? Maguire, De Ligt, Bruno, and Mbumo or Ahmad?
Ooh.
It's
actually a good question.
That's a really good question.
There's only one answer, gentlemen, that you can say.
I think there's one answer here, but because I'm looking at the games
there's only one answer. One answer. It is Harry Maguire. Well done. Yeah. It is Harry Maguire. Yeah, absolutely right. And
I'm looking at the games and what he would have offered in those games.
Yes. Even Jarvis.
Followed by De Ligt.
That's because he's a leader. We have lacked leaders in this group now in the last couple of games. No one who can drag us over the line.
Jarvis, you remember when we done the preview/review and we were saying about we're creating chances, we're taking corners, but we've got no one to head them in. We've got no one to head it out at the other end. So it was both ends. We've got set pieces, but we've got no one who can score from those set pieces. That's Maguire and De Ligt, and at the same time, at the other end, we're bringing in Martinez, but he's not going to, he won a lot of headers, but he's no Maguire, is he? He's not a magnet header of the ball, and there's some balls that got thrown in. That Leeds, Calvert-Lewin, when we spoke about that, Stu, I wouldn't have got to him. Maguire would have cleared it.
Exactly. Yeah. Just coming through, we've got one more question, and then a bit of a Scammering out says Mark has to do the whole next stream
Mate.
in that voice.
I can literally only do those words.
No, I know. Final question of the night, because it's well past my bedtime, ladies and gentlemen, and that is from Trev. You get the honour of the final question, pal. What? Oh God, what is United these days? Is it Coronation Street or EastEnders? I wouldn't have a fucking clue. Jarvis doesn't know them. Is there?
I know it's EastEnders. I know EastEnders.
Oh, okay.
There is only one. Coronation Street is set in Manchester, and the dog was called Schmeichel.
I don't watch any of those, so I wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah, we definitely a sitcom of some kind. We are a sitcom. We have become a sitcom. That's just how we are. We are a joke at the moment, a comedy.
Do you know what, Stu? Jamie's answer is probably the closest. Hollyoaks. I
don't know, Jamie. Didn't Hollyoaks have some very good-looking ladies in it? I was going to say my usual thing, a lot of fit birds, but we'll go with very good-looking ladies because of all the ladies in the watches, yeah. Hollyoaks, yes, yeah. Great. I do like the question, Trev. I think we've had one more. Do we have?
Okay. Rogue, I saw a few more,
yeah, I did start one more. Last question then, guys. It's a good question to end the show with. Will INEOS make any signings this window?
Have you got a coin? Because I think it is a coin toss, the answer to this.
Yeah, I think it's a tricky one, that one to answer. I'm
yes,
going to go with yes.
Yes.
Me too. I'm going to go with yes.
Okay. Signing or loan deal, Jarvis?
No, well, loan deal, obviously. We don't have the money. So we will just bring in someone to please the crowds. That's just, they will try to turn the...
There's got to be something, yeah. I think it'll be a loan deal.
I think there'll be a loan deal, but I do think they'll try and spin us with a signing as well now.
They'll probably get something.
If this hadn't happened, I thought it was just going to be a loan deal. Now, today has happened. I think they've got to go and do something. But then it's going to come out of the summer transfer budget.
Probably, but no, I'm going with definitely a signing. Yeah, everybody. That concludes the question and answer. Trev did ask us a question about our foot size. I don't know why, but he did.
10.5.
You're 10.5, are you? Oh yeah.
Stu looks worried by that.
Okay.
I'm 13.
No,
12 and a half in Adidas, but I'm 13 in Nike and all others.
Yeah, I'm fucking 11. You know, size 11.
All right, Joey.
I'm a size 8. I'm a size 8. I'm a size 8. But in Adidas, I'm 8.5 because they're a bit tight. Actually, some Adidas boots I'm 8.5, but World Cups and the proper ones I'm an 8. They fit quite nicely. I've got dainty feet and dainty hands, but I pack a big punch. Just I get that.
I used to be a swimmer back in the days.
Did you?
Yep.
Jamie's a size 12. All right, keep coming, guys. Keep coming. All right. Yeah,
Big up, Jamie. Big up, Jamie. Thank you, Rogue.
Jamie.
I like that question, Rogue. Yeah, great question. Thank you all, guys. Been a brilliant show. I'm going to hand you back to my old mate. And he'll. Thank you.
Thank you for the brilliant Q&A. I have a couple of updates. I want to share with you guys. Roshmano just sent me this, so we have been.
Guys, I don't know if you can see this. This is the size of the shoebox. No, it's not going to come up on my thing.
Yeah.
No, but basically, I'm covering my whole screen with my shoebox, which is the size of my forearm.
What have you got in there?
It was just a new pair of running trainers.
Oh, which ones did you go
for? Cloud foam form, what Adidas ones, about 170 odd quid.
Yeah,
the other ones are doing in my size. That's the problem I get. When you got big feet, you can only buy expensive trainers.
Yeah,
because the feet ones don't go up that high.
When you get proper size feet like me, you can get what you like. My missus bought me a couple of pairs of running shoes, but she got me some. Do you remember those Yellow ones I showed you, Joel. She got me about 300
Mm,
quid. That's so nice, so nice. Yeah.
Well, it's easy when you can shop in the kids section, ain't you?
Yeah, very funny.
So the Primet 10 in Adidas Gazelles, GQ 11, 11 and a half. Okay.
Yeah.
As is 12 as well.
Yeah, that is a 12, yeah.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
No, it's all right, that's fine. I don't shop in the kiddies section, Trev, and you know that because you've been shopping with me.
I have some updates I want to read
yes,
you guys before, because I have problems uploading it to my computer now at the end of the show, so I can't show. But there are some reports out from Hurst class that the cracks between Rúben Amorim and the board started to appear 6 weeks ago, and it began after the run of 3 wins in 9 matches because of the loss against Everton and the results against West Ham and Wolves, Leeds and Bournemouth. So the board weren't happy with the results. So now this is how they are framing it. It's because of the results, not because of what Amorim said. So believe it if you like, but I don't.
I heard it was 7 weeks, Jarvis. So when I'll do my tweet, I'll make it 7 weeks because I'm pretty sure that's it. Mark's going to put 5 weeks.
Well, I'm going to find that game where they had the argument in the stands.
Yeah. And you
remember there was an argument in the stands between Barada, Wilcox, and Ratcliffe. They were arguing in the stands.
No, it's not true. What happened was Barada had lost 5 pence. Wilcox was going for it, and Barada was having none of it. And of course, Jim Ratcliffe, being a billionaire, for every 5p is worth a lot to him. So he fucking dived over to try and get it. And that's what happened. It was all about 5p.
You ain't fucking spending that on a player. Give me that.
Exactly. It's all about, I want me fucking 5p back. Rumour has it that Joel Glazer was absolutely up in fucking arms. He got straight on the team's call and said, that's my fucking 5p. It's my stadium. I want it. Fuck it. That's what I could tweet. I could tweet that tomorrow, guys.
What I will say to all of the chat is you need to listen to Stu. This is his job. He understands about the media. The fact is, you're going to see so much bullshit. Believe what you want to believe, because no one can tell you any different. But if only one person's reporting it, and it isn't reported all at the same time, breaking news, it's probably bullshit.
Yes.
And if it doesn't have a statement from someone or a voice clip or something like that, it's guesswork.
You've got to substantiate it. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Guys, it's been a brilliant show. 2 hours, 12 minutes. It's been a sad day for Man United. We are always a mess of a club, but it is what it is. I have a favor to ask you. If you haven't smashed a like, please do. It's so important for us. If this was your first time on the Tactical Devils, please subscribe to the channel and put on that bell notification, so you will get a notification next time we go live. If hype is available in your country, go back after the video ends and press that hype button and leave a comment in the non-live section. Let me know your thoughts on the Amorim sacking. I want to know how the community feels. So thank you, Stu. Thank you, Mark. It's been a fantastic show. We will be back tomorrow night, Stu, with the preview.
Should we do... have you got the kids this week?
No.
Should we go for 8?
Yep, we can go early. Go 8.
Go about 8 p.m. There's no game on tomorrow night, is there?
AFCON.
Yeah. You did, Jamie. You taught me everything I know, mate.
And by the way, guys, I want to thank Rafa San coming in from South Africa, coming in with 2 lovely donations for the channel. Thank you so much for your contributions, and the rest of you, Gavin, Alien, Tenno, and the Madness, Gordon Hill, Rashmano, all of you fantastic people tuning in. We Deserve Better, Wicker, Trevor Wade, P90, Stephanie Griffith, Jamie Wayne, the Primet, all of you guys.
Loads.
We love you. We love you for tuning in every night.
Danny B, Straight Talk, they've all been in tonight. It's been absolutely brilliant. Pete, Catherine No Nonsense McDade, Grace has been in.
I am Titanium, Bilal.
I'm Titanium. Everyone's been in, so it's been absolutely brilliant tonight. Thank you.
And by the way, we are on 74 likes. Let's hope we can get this video up to 100 before it stops pushing on YouTube. So, guys, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you on the next.
Take care, guys. See you tomorrow.
Take care. Take care. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.